What if the biggest threat to your marriage wasn't betrayal, but a secret, silent battle you had to fight every single day? This is the story of the line we must all recognize, and the moment a good man almost crossed it forever. Meet Ethan and Julia, 10 years married. They weren't the couple who posted endless, perfect travel photos. They were the real ones. Ethan was a high school teacher, grounded and kind. Julia was a nurse, fiercely loyal and pragmatic. They had the mortgage, the dog, the predictable rhythm of comfortable love. It wasn't fireworks every night, but it was solid ground. It was safe. Their struggle wasn't explosive fighting. It was a quiet, creeping drift. The responsibilities of kids and careers had turned their marriage into a highly efficient logistics company. They were excellent co-parents and roommates, but the electricity was gone. Ethan knew the spark was dim. He tried to fix it with flowers, with date nights, but the effort felt forced, like patching a leak that ran deeper than the surface. He felt guilt for the apathy that was slowly replacing passion. Then, the new semester started. Ethan was assigned a new teaching assistant, Sarah. Sarah was everything Ethan's life wasn't anymore. She was young, vibrant, and utterly unbound by routine. She had a spontaneous laugh that echoed through the quiet hallways of the school. She represented pure, unadulterated possibility. It was completely innocent at first. They bonded over lesson plans, over shared teaching philosophies. But the innocence began to fray at the edges. One chilly Thursday, they stayed late grading papers. The school was empty. The lights were dimmed. Sarah leaned back, stretching dramatically, and gave Ethan a look, a shared moment of tired, easy camaraderie. But in that moment, something shifted. It wasn't the look itself. It was Ethan's internal earthquake. Ethan felt a sudden, powerful, visceral pull. A current of energy that jolted him out of his decade-long routine. It was pure lust, a raw desire that terrified him because it was directed entirely outside the boundaries of his life with Julia. He immediately looked away. His heart hammered. He felt dizzy, exhilarated, and instantly ashamed. The next day, Sarah sent him a simple, non-work-related text. Found this article on teaching philosophy. Thought you'd appreciate it, smiley face. Ethan looked at the message. It was harmless. It was thoughtful. But he didn't see an article. He saw a door. A quiet, electronic door opening just slightly, inviting him to step over the line of safe conversation and into the ambiguous, dangerous territory of emotional intimacy. He stared at the screen for 10 full minutes. His whole future hinged on one simple reply. What would happen if he just answered? Ethan didn't reply to the text that night. He went home, kissed Julia, and immediately felt like an imposter. The possibility had tainted everything. Over the next 2 weeks, the tension became unbearable. Sarah was still at work, and the boundary had become fluid. He found himself looking forward to her presence. He started dressing a little better. He planned the conversations. This wasn't professional engagement. This was performing for someone outside his marriage. The temptation was no longer just about sex. It was about the validation she offered. The feeling of being seen as exciting, as vital, as someone with potential. Not just someone who pays the mortgage. One afternoon, Sarah was visibly upset about a personal matter. She was crying, quietly, in the supply room. Ethan walked in. His instinct told him to comfort her, to be the hero, to forge that powerful emotional connection. He put his hand on the doorframe, ready to step in. Just be a human. Just be kind. Julia wouldn't mind. But a deep voice inside him screamed the truth. You don't want to be kind. You want to be needed by her. He pulled his hand back, heart pounding, and simply shut the door. He walked away. He took a path of silence and emotional cowardice instead of kindness. He realized his problem wasn't Sarah. His problem was the lust for escape, the desire to run from the predictability and effort of his own marriage and find easy, thrilling validation elsewhere. He drove home that night terrified. He was losing the battle not because of Julia, but because he hadn't mastered the chaos inside himself. That weekend, the weight of the secret crushed him. He knew he had two choices: cross the line and ruin his life, or tell Julia the truth and risk ruining his life anyway. He chose the second. Saturday evening, after the kids were asleep, he sat Julia down. He didn't confess an act. He confessed a feeling. "Julia, I haven't been honest with you. There is someone at work. I haven't done anything. But I want to. I want to escape, and she represents that escape. I am terrified of what I'm feeling." The silence was deafening. It was worse than any accusation. Julia didn't cry. She didn't scream. She simply got up and walked to the kitchen. Ethan watched her, expecting the worst. She returned holding two dusty, untouched photo albums of their life before kids. "You think you're lusting after her, Ethan? You're not. You're lusting after easiness. You're lusting after the version of me you remember, before the struggle and the exhaustion. You want the effortless connection of a new start, but you won't do the work to find the electric connection that is already here, under all the laundry and the bills. You want the easy fire, not the slow-burning love we built." She hadn't destroyed him. She had diagnosed him. She looked him straight in the eye, and the power dynamic shifted entirely. "This is your choice, Ethan. Not hers, not mine. You can keep chasing the fantasy, or you can come back here, dig through the effort, and find the woman you married. I am not the problem. Your lust for an easy life is." That night, the armor fell away from both of them. Ethan resigned from his teaching assistant position the next Monday, a clean break. The hardest part wasn't walking away from Sarah. It was walking toward the hard work required at home. They didn't have instant fireworks. They started small. They set 15 minutes a day for a logistics ban. No kids, no bills, just personal conversation. They argued. They failed. But they kept showing up. Julia learned to ask Ethan about his feelings, not just his solutions. Ethan learned that true mastery wasn't about suppressing desire. It was about acknowledging the desire, understanding its root, the need for validation/escape, and redirecting that intense energy back into the primary bond. The desire for escape never fully disappears. But Ethan gained the mastery to look at the door and choose the home. He chose the struggle, because in the struggle, they found the love that was stronger than any fleeting fantasy. This is the universal lesson. Lust is not the desire for a person. It is the desire for an escape from the effort of your own life. Mastery in marriage isn't about avoiding temptation. It's about understanding the deep-seated need that the temptation is fulfilling, and then aggressively meeting the need within the relationship. Your partner is not the problem. The apathy and the urge to run from necessary effort, that's the real threat. Julia didn't panic, she diagnosed. She didn't leave, she challenged. Would you have had the courage to tell your partner the whole, ugly truth, or would you have walked away? Let me know in the comments below.